Guys, UFC 317 was sick. I'm doing the matchmaking video and a mini recap in today's video, I guess. Obviously, I went to the event. It was unbelievable. The atmosphere was insane. We had six seats like on the floor, one row behind where all the fighters were sitting. So, actually, my buddy Mikey was on camera when they were showing Robbie Lawler. It was super cool. Super cool. Got to meet a ton of cool fighters. Um, Volk, Rashad Evans, Robbie Lawler, Mackenzie Dern, Colby Covington, Tom Aspinall. Got to meet a whole bunch of these guys. It was absolutely awesome. What an event! What an overall event that was. Now I did go 8-3 on picks. It brings my overall record to like 167-85, I believe. I'll double check that in the video thumbnail. I mean, dude, Ilia Topuria is a massive superstar. This guy is the superstar of all superstars. It's literally that simple. Like he is as big as you can get. I don't know, my hair looking weird. Um, this guy's a beast. He slimes Charles Oliveira out in the first round. The fight was nuts. Obviously, Joshua Van and Brandon Royval we'll talk about in a moment, but holy shit. That was a nuts card, bro. Ilia Topuria is an absolute savage. Like, who touches him in star power right now, honestly? Like, Patty? The thing is, Patty doesn't have a belt to legitimize what he had, and you can't say Sean O'Malley because even when Sean had the belt, it wasn't like what we saw when what we're seeing with Ilya right now. He wasn't knocking out the best of the best. He didn't have the aura of invincibility from all around him. He didn't even have the follower base that Ilya has. Maybe he did buy a follower or two, but you know what? It doesn't matter, bro. He is a superstar. He is the superstar of superstars. He's like McGregor right now. Like McGregor was on a whole nother level. You were able to. But the thing is, with the UFC, when McGregor was around, Dana actually capitalized on it and took him on press conferences around the world. Took him everywhere to promote everything. Dana needs to actually start doing that with Ilya because he has the next guy. Like that, Ilya is the next guy. And you want to know something? He is a better MMA fighter than Conor McGregor was back then. 100%. He has more power in his hands, which is crazy to say. It's carrying at 155 tenfold. His precision is amazing. He's got great grappling. The dude passed into side control against Charles Oliveira. He passed the guard and went for a crucifix position, almost had it. Pretty much had it for a second, and Charles got out. Then, like, Charles almost had a leg lock that was pretty close, and Ilya gets out of it. And then he slimes him out cold in round one, landing a right hook that literally flatlines him in one punch. Like, he is flatlining dudes with a single punch. This is insane. Unprecedented. The three wins he has in a row right now is the most impressive in UFC history. 145 GOAT Volk knockout, insane win. Max Holloway knockout, another like the second best fighter ever at 145, or before Ilya. Knockout. First guy to ever knock him out in like 30 fights in the UFC. The uncrackable chin up to Poirier cracked it. Then Charles Oliveira, a guy who gets hurts in fights, but goes down to the ground and gets usually either TKO'd or something like that. Not like flatline KO'd. Ilya flatlines him with a right hook right down the middle. And he is finding the jab too in this fight. He was throwing the jab to the body. It was landing perfect. He was throwing the jab upstairs. It was landing perfect. He even ate a pair of shots from Charles. He ate a really good elbow, really good straight right hand from Charles, and just ate it no problem at all. Charles even went for the grappling. Ilya was able to counter the grappling. It was just unbelievable. Charles literally goes for the grappling, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna show you the matchmaking card right now. Charles literally goes for the grappling, and what happens? Ilya somehow reverses it, keeps his hips strong, and ends up on top of Charles to get to the point where he's now going to start to be able to pass. Insane performance, and just flatlines him. We're sitting in this position where we're like, what's next? And I'm going to talk about Ilia Topuria specifically and what we need to do to build him up to make him the GOAT, because that's going to be a whole video that I'm making this week. I know I've made that in the past, but it would involve a lot of going up and down and weight. No, no. We know what we need to do now. Ilya's the big superstar. He's the one that everyone needs to chase. Rogan is in. I don't mind like someone coming into the ring and having beef. It being Patty was probably the best way it could have gone in the sense that of like marketability of having views, right? But Is Paddy the next for the fight? He's coming off a Chandler win. I mean, this is the one time where you could probably justify and say, oh, yeah, fuck it, dude. Like, it's a huge fight. It'll sell out a ton. I just don't think Paddy's title shot is legitimized enough yet. We're going to talk about what I'm thinking in a moment, though, because Paddy is still an option. That is the thing. Paddy is still an option. But, like, you're looking and you're like, dude, is there anyone that can stop Ilia Topuria? Now, what I want to see is Ilia Topuria make a relatively quick turnaround. I think we have contenders that are ready to fight right now. There's 3 that are in contention. 4, really, but 3 because Islam Makhachev is going to go up to 170. Islam's going up to 170, so we're going to take him out of the occasion. You're not going to have that one. The other 3 are going to be Arman, Gaethje, Pimlet. Those are the 3 coming off wins. Those are the 3 that are ready. And they're all ready to turn around. You have Arman, who hasn't fought in a year, over a year. You have Gaethje, who last fought in March. He's ready to go. And then you have Paddy, who also last fought in April, ready to go. Both of these guys can fight this year. Ilia Topuria took a tiny amount of damage against Charles, just a couple of punches. He's going to be ready to go in a few months. I say let's turn it around. Let's have him headline that Abu Dhabi card, man. Let's have Ilia Topuria headline one of the biggest cards that we do every year, which is that October card in Abu Dhabi. You could do MSG. I say fuck that. I say screw that. You can put other fights on the MSG card. I'd like to see Ilia Topuria fight on the Abu Dhabi card, so that way we can kind of line up. Because I mean, I think you can do JDM versus Islam on that card. I do. I think you can do that on the first card in October. I want to line up Ilia Topuria with, because they're not going to put Topuria as a co-main. They're not going to put Makhachev as a co-main. You're going to have 2 different cards there. And I think you got to make them back-to-back. I do. And I think if you put Ilia Topuria as the one in the middle, it's hard to have Islam Makhachev fight up a weight class for a title when he's not technically holding a belt anymore in Abu Dhabi. It's going to be a hard sell to JDM. And I don't think they should do that, because JDM did them a favor and took the belt off Bilal. Come on, guys. I think Ilia should be looking to fight at the main event of Abu Dhabi. He is the biggest star in the UFC. He is... he might have just went to superstardom. In my opinion, he's a superstar. We'll see if all the fans jump on, but like, he's one of those guys that, like, dude, he's just, you market him everywhere, you will make him a superstar, because he'll talk that shit too. I say you do the Abu Dhabi card, UFC, I think it's going to be 321 in Abu Dhabi, 320, 319 is in whatever, right? Chicago. There's not going to be one in September. Fucking crazy that they're not doing one in September. That's mad annoying. Then they're going to do 320 in the beginning of August. I'm sorry, beginning of October. 321 is going to be the Abu Dhabi card at the end of October. Dude, hear me out. It's the best fight you can make. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Not the best fight, not the biggest fight you can make, but it is the 2 best lightweights in the world, hands down. This is the, I guess, toughest matchup in this division for Ilia Topuria. I still think Ilia slimes him out, but he's the only guy that I look at in this division and go, I mean, he's the only guy I wouldn't put Ilia minus 500 against. I'd put him as minus 350. Like, that's how you got to look at this thing, because everyone else, dude, I don't know that there's a person that can beat Ilia Topuria. I think he is the most well-rounded fighter. I think he is the best fighter in terms of skills that I have ever seen in MMA. When you mix the power, the technique, the guy doesn't even throw fucking kicks. He throws a couple leg kicks. When you mix the power, the boxing, the technique, the grappling, the ability to pass guard, the jiu-jitsu skill, you mix everything that this guy has. The fact that he goes out there and he gets finishes, the aura that he has, the excitements and the smiles that he has when he's about to go out there and fight, when he's about to walk out. He is the guy. Ilia Topuria is the guy. He's the best fighter I've ever seen, dude. He is the best fighter in the UFC right now. He should be pound for pound number 1. And I am 100, no, I can't say 100. I am 95% confident he sleeps Islam Makhachev. He's going to be a plus 190 underdog. They said opening odds were for against Makhachev. Literally take everything you own and put it on that line. It's a lock. A plus 190 line is a lock, bro. Ilia is the best fighter that I have ever seen. He's so fucking good. And he's a superstar. This is what the UFC needed this so bad. We had a couple of bad cards in a row. They're not putting together the best pay-per-views coming up. We needed someone to like take over the world in UFC. Someone to completely take over. That's Ilia Topuria. They gave him the YouTube treatment. They posted like the everything but the first minute of the fight on YouTube. They put it right on YouTube after the fight. It's already had like 6.4 million views in like 24 hours. Insane. That is insane. He does huge numbers. I say you match him with Arman Tsarukyan, and I know I just gave you the Arman Tsarukyan fight and just started glazing Topuria again, but it is the only fight that like you look and you go, well, there's a chance someone might have some success. Because you honestly think Gaethje lasts a minute with Topuria? Gaethje's going to stare at him. He's going to try and land the jab, land a low kick, and Ilia's going to time it, land a big right hand on the chin, and knock out Gaethje with the first punch he throws. He's sliming Gaethje out cold quicker than he did Charles. He is going to break the chin of Paddy Pimblett. He is going to be the guy that knocks out the Scouser. We're going to show you that Scousers do get knocked out. He is knocking out Paddy Pimblett cold. He is the best fighter I've ever seen. And Arman Tsarukyan is the next best fighter at lightweight. He's the real number one contender. I understand Dana's thing about being like, well, he missed weight. He proved he can't make. You just have to have someone there is ready to be a backup fighter. That's all you need. Like, make sure you have a backup fighter available. And you're good. I say it really does need to be Arman Tsarukyan. It doesn't need to be. You can do other things. Like, you can do the Gaethje fight and have Arman and Paddy fight each other. You can do the Paddy fight and have Arman and Gaethje fight each other. I get that. I think this is the best, and here's why. And I'm going to go into deep detail about this on the other video I make. I'm going to repeat it on the next video I make, so just understand. I think if you do Ilia versus Arman now, the likelihood is that Ilia is going to win. You can probably write that in. Arman's very, very good. So it's one of those wins on Ilia's record where he goes, dude, he beat one of the best lightweights that we have. He beat the other best lightweight that we have. That's an insane, that's another really good win on his resume in terms of skill. It's not like a padded, like, the Gaethje one's like a padded win at this point, right? It's not like the Usman wins where it's like, oh, he beat Masvidal twice. That's a padded win against a guy that's just not the elite of the elite. This is the first Usman win against Colby, you know what I mean? Like, this would be if, like, JDM defended against Islam Makhachev and Sean Brady and stuff like that, not against Gilbert Burns, right? Like, this is those kinds of wins. Who's another one to think of here? This is Islam Makhachev defending it. I mean, it's a bad example. But, like, this isn't a Mickey Mouse title defense, right? This is a legit-ass title defense. As legit as it gets in this division. It's a really good name on his resume. People are going to look, and it's going to age well, because Arman's probably going to beat the rest of the division. It's going to age very well. Well, he just couldn't get past Ilia, because Ilia is the best guy we've ever seen. It's going to age really well. Imagine if your win streak is KO over Volk, KO over Holloway, KO over Oliveira, KO over Arman Tsarukyan. That's the best 4-fight win streak ever. He's already got the best 3-fight win streak ever. I think it makes the most sense. And you do it in Abu Dhabi, it's a good one. You can draw fans from all around the world for that. They each got fan bases in that area. So I say make that fight main event, UFC Abu Dhabi. You can co-main with a fucking, I don't know. You can co-main with Weili Zhang versus Valentina Shevchenko. Like, you can do some shit like that. And then have other sick fights on the card. So I'd say Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan should be the main event. UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi. Next up, Charles Oliveira. Dude, I feel so bad. He got slimed out cold. I say Max Holloway. Hear me out. Charles is going to need 6 to 8 months to, like, clear out, fully recover. He got slimed out colder than he's ever been slimed out before. I don't want to see him back in there until January, man. I'm going to be real. And Max Holloway's going to fight with Dustin Poirier. It's probably going to be a 5-round war. I know Max is good for a quick turnaround, but if you look at him, and if you look in November, right, December, and you say, hey, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, first pay-per-view in January, UFC 324, co-main event, 5 rounds. You're going to be able to sell a pay-per-view based off of that, and then you can put someone else is the main event, right? You can put a trying to think, like you could have another Dricus Duplessis or Hamzat Chimaev like middleweight championship title defense in there, right? That's what you can do. The winner of that fight versus the winner of Imavov Baralho is the main event. Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway is the co-main event. That's going to sell a pay-per-view. It's going to do a great job selling pay-per-views. Put stuff like that together. You can have if I don't really know who else you're putting on because we have to see the other title fights that are getting booked. If Ankh gets booked quick, right? You can have Ankh turn around and fight then. You can have these other ones, right? I think Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway is very approachable. I think it's a banger of a fight too. Yes, it's a rematch, but the first one ended so weird and it was so long ago that like who cares? It's a banger of a fight. Two of the baddest dudes on the planet and two really big names that aren't really in title contention at all. Like they both lost to Ilia Topuria. They both got slimed out by Ilia Topuria, who's the current champion. They're in weird spots where they're going to have to get win streaks in order to be able to get back to the title, but they're both in their 30s. Like Charles is probably not getting back to the title. Max has a chance. If he beats Poirier and then he beats Oliveira, he has a win over Gaethje. Then he goes out there and he beats another contender. Then you're like, all right, dude, he's done the fucking featherweight thing where he's undeniable again. He's beaten everyone else in the division. Let's go up and have him fight Ilia Topuria again and just see if this one works out. Something like that. Maybe Topuria will have vacated and gone to welterweight by then. We don't know. But I think you book this one in January of next year because the schedules are going to match up. And it's going to be a sick fight. It's going to be one that people tune in for. And you do a 5-round co-main event, that immediately strengthens a pay-per-view where you can put stuff behind it. Like you can have other fights behind it that aren't as strong. So say that's what you do. That's how you sell pay-per-views right there. Alessandro Pantoja dominated Kai Kara France. Dude. Kai Kara France looked like he did not deserve to be in that cage, and he kind of didn't. Kind of didn't. And this went exactly as I thought. I said I think Pantoja's going to end up getting a submission or a ground and pound TKO in like the later rounds, round two, or not later rounds, round 2 or 3. And I think that he's going to be able to outstrike Kai Kara France at moments and get himself into the grappling. And that's exactly what happened. First 30 seconds of the fight, Pantoja just blitzes with like ugly looking hooks that don't really land, but he gets the takedown immediately and locks in a body triangle in Kai Kara France, and they pretty much camp out most of the round there. Kai's not really able to land on Pantoja. He's just defending chokes the whole time. Round 2 comes around. Kai's getting schooled again, right? Pantoja's landing combinations that are ending with kicks really good. He's landing combinations that end with low kicks and body kicks that were very good. He was landing hooks. He was hurting Kai Kara France in the boxing a little bit too because Kai was just so concerned with the takedowns that he could not stop the strikes coming either. And then Pantoja would just blitz and get takedowns from the blitz. Blitz with strikes, get takedowns. Blitz with strikes, get takedowns. And eventually in the third round, he gets the back again, cinches in the choke. Dude, Kai Kara France did a good job of fighting the hand like a lot. He kept pulling the hand down. Kept pulling the hand down. It was on the chin. He kept pulling the hand down. And then eventually Pantoja gets it under the neck. Kai Kara France pulls down the hand one more time. Pantoja gets it again, gets the hand back up there and just cinches it in. Kai Kara France taps out. I'm glad he did because that's corny as fuck, dude. You're weird. Corny as fuck. It's weird to do, bro. Like you're doing that to Pantoja who's going to destroy you. Like you can't look at Kai Kara France and be like, this guy's one of the most intimidating flyweights ever. He's not. Easy title defense for Pantoja. It's just a guy that he hasn't fought on his title run yet, and he destroyed him again too. And now we're going to get the Joshua Van fight. He gets the Joshua Van call up, walks into the octagon. They face off. They have respect for each other clearly, but they face off. This is actual legitimate hype at flyweight now. There is genuine hype at flyweight. This is a title fight that should be happening at MSG. Co-main event to whoever headlines at MSG, JDM Islam Makhachev. Co-main event, Pantoja versus Van. Boom, done. Boom, done. No problem. Maybe you do like Kayla versus Nunes on the Abu Dhabi card as the co-main instead of Tina versus Weili. This is a co-main event fight right here. Alessandro Pantoja, Joshua Van. You can honestly make it the main event. I'm okay with it being the main event of December. I just think there's a bunch of champions that need to defend their titles on upcoming pay-per-views, and we already have lost a pay-per-view that we were supposed to have in September, but there's no more pay-per-view in September. So we're running with, we need an Aspinall fight coming up, right? So he's going to be the headline of a pay-per-view. You're going to have Volk fight again, who's going to be ahead of these guys in terms of headlining a pay-per-view. You're going to have Islam Makhachev JDM headlining a pay-per-view. You're going to have Ilia Topuria headlining a pay-per-view. So now you're in a spot where these guys are going to be in a co-main event spot, but do it at MSG. Give them the shine that they deserve. These MSG cards go insane. Pantoja versus Joshua Van at MSG gives Joshua Van enough time to heal up, even though he's like the most active fighter ever, gives him a full 5 months pretty much to heal up, continue to train, continue to get better, work in the takedown department, continue to improve, and be ready for Pantoja. You can have him co-main in December too. I'm totally cool with this being the co-main event of a December pay-per-view. Totally cool with it. Aspinall gone, which actually might be at MSG, even though it should be way sooner. It's driving me nuts that they haven't booked that already. Pantoja Van has to happen. It's a dude. This is where flyweight's great, because now we're in a spot where like there's genuine hype, a fresh new contender. Pantoja's been dominating, but now we got this guy booming up the ranks that Pantoja hasn't fought yet. And he has got a ton of hype behind him as well. This is going to be one where we're all on the edge of our seats. We're going, oh boy, here we go. How's it going to go? Like, I haven't had anxiety watching a flyweight title fight in a long time. I haven't. It's been like the Moreno-Pantoja one was like very, very hyped up and interesting. But after that, the Royval-Pantoja one wasn't anything crazy. Pantoja Asakura, not crazy. Pantoja Urseg, not crazy. The fights were decent. But there's not like a ton of hype going into it. This one is like before the fight starts, when Buffer's announcing them, you're going to be like, oh shit, dude, this is a big one. This is a big one. That's what we need. And Guru had a great idea. Now's the time where, flyweight's cooking. Bring back Makhachev, give him a contenders fight, and then let him fight for a title after that. This is where you get flyweight cooking. 100%. Flyweight will fucking ball out right now. This is how you save the flyweight division. There's so much hype behind it right now. This is the perfect time to bring back Makhachev. You knew they were always going to do it at some point, but this is the right time. He's took a year off. You gave him his little lesson, right? Sign him. Make him fight a tough contender like a Moreno or something. If he gets past that, now you do something like, now you go there. Right? Maybe you can have him fight a Royval too, but like, sign Makhachev, bring more hype. Now there's more names flying around the flyweight division, and we're in business. Kai Kara-France lost. There's only one fight for him, bro. Why have they not booked this fight already? They should have booked it the second this fight ended. Kai Kara-France versus Manel Kape is a legitimate hype fight. This is like the type of animosity that Yair Rodriguez and Diego Lopez have, but it's at flyweight. There's beef here. They're both striking based. They're both talented. It's a very, very good, fun fight that we need to see, dude. Make this a co-main event, or make this the main event of Perth. Bring this to Australia and fucking set up a press conference so these two can go at it. If not, put this as the main card opener of some pay-per-view within the next 4 months. The early October pay-per-view, right? Main card opener, Manel Kape, Kai Kara-France. Get these guys on a press conference yapping at each other. It's a super marketable fight. And they're both going to sell it for you. So why not book this, man? And it's the perfect time to do it because Kai Kara-France ain't getting anywhere near that title shot again. Manel Kape has consistently been pulling out of fights. The UFC isn't going to do him any favors here. If he beats Kai Kara-France, then he can get back in those conversations. But you're not giving him a title fight here based off of a fucking Bruno Silva win or an Asu Amabayev win. No. Kai Kara-France, Manel Kape is the fight you have to make. By the way, Joshua Van, Brandon Royval, bro. Now let's talk about that we've gotten to Brandon Royval. Dude, Brandon Royval and Joshua Van put on the fight of the year. There's nowhere close to it. One of the best fights of the decade. Watching that live was fucking insane. The crowd was going nuts the whole time. This was bonkers, dude. And you can watch Joshua Van just go there and make reads for the first minute and a half of a fight. Download all the information. Starts teeing off. These guys landed over 200 significant strikes each. And they just let each other fucking hit each other just to get other punches back. It was insane. It was one of the best fights I've ever seen in my entire life. I was so privileged to be able to watch it there live, dude. It was so fucking awesome. The crowd was electric. People in the crowd that didn't know who Josh Van were, they fucking do now. These guys went to war. Joshua Van, I thought, won the first round. I think he dropped Royval at one point. Um, Dude, this thing was going at 100 miles an hour, though. These guys were shattering records left and right for this fight. And it was unbelievable. This was an unbelievable fight. Fight of the year, no doubt. Joshua Van's getting his title shot. Brandon Royval, he lost. I think he stays at flyweight, though. I think he's going to have a little bit more love after putting that performance on. Dana's paying him his win money because of how goddamn good that fight was. There's a matchup coming up in July. It's between Asu Almabayev and Ramazan Temirov. The winner of that is going to be looking up into the rankings in the top 5. I think the winner of that fight is who Brandon Royval should be looking at to fight, because the other options are like an Urseg Perez winner. Don't really want to see that yet. Even if Urseg wins, like I'd like to see Urseg get a little win streak going again, get some confidence back before he goes to fight in the top 5 again. Maybe Urseg beats Perez and then fights the loser of the Asu Almabayev versus Ramazan Temirov. I think that could be an option. Brandon Royval's fought a lot of the other guys in the rankings, though. Like, he's already fought Kai Kara-France before. I don't really want to see him fight Kai Kara-France. We need the France-Manel Kopp fight. You're not going to see him fight Kopp because we need the Kai Kara-France-Manel Kopp fight. He already beat Tatsuro Taira. I don't care to see him fight Albazi. Sure, he can fight Albazi, but I think he smokes Albazi, honestly, too. And I think Albazi's just... I don't think he's that good. So there's the Albazi fight, but I'm not interested in that one. You know what I mean? Then there's the... I think Albazi's going to be coming off 2 losses in a row, so it's not really going to make sense for him to be fighting around there. You don't really need to see the Moreno trilogy. I mean, you could, but the only place you would do that is Noche, and you're not turning around for Noche after taking that damage, bud. I say a December main card of a fight night. The winner of Temirov versus Almabayev, versus Brandon Royval. That's how you make that fight. I think it makes sense. It's the right fight to make. Beneil Dariush beat Renato Moicano, got dropped in the first round, but ended up winning the fight with his grappling. I think Moicano made some mistakes in the IQ department. Looked like he really tired out a bit. Love Moicano, but it just felt like one of those ones, like my gut kept telling me that Dariush is going to win this one. But Moicano showed that, he still got some pop in the hands, but Dariush got the win. He got the win. Moicano's, it's going to be tricky. I'm going to show you what I'll do with him, but I think you match up Dariush with Fiziev. I've seen a lot of people match him up with Fiziev. It's the only one that makes sense. He's not going to take the Rufy fight now. He's like, I'm coming off a win. Why doesn't Moicano take the Rufy fight? So I don't see Dariush fighting Rufy. He's not going to be getting a Charles. Like, he's not going to get a Gamrot fight again. That's a rematch. He's not going to get a Charles fight. That's not going to happen. It's not going to be, again, because that would be a rematch. Maybe he fights a Grant Dawson, but again, I think Grant Dawson's got to get booked very, very soon. He should be looking to take a short notice fight against somebody or something. We need Grant Dawson to fight very soon, so I look at timelines and I think Fiziev versus Dariush is a great fight to make. I mean, it's a guy that's really, really good at striking with great takedown defense versus a guy that's really, really good at grappling. So I say you book this fight. They fought within a week of each other. They're both coming off wins after having a little bit of a loss streak. I think it makes all the sense. So I say Beneil Dariush, Rafael Fiziev, co-main event of some fight night. I think it's a great fight to make. Moving on, Renato Moicano. He lost. I'm saying Nasrat Hakparas. Now, hear me out. Moicano's going to need to who do you book Moicano against? I see people saying Chandler. I don't want to see that, dude. I don't want to see Chandler fighting in the... I think Chandler needs to just, earn his spot in the rankings. You know what I mean? Defend against a guy trying to come up into the rankings. Moicano, kind of in a similar spot. Now, I honestly think that the UFC is waiting to set up Rufy versus Chandler. I think it should be Mauricio Rufy versus Michael Chandler. And I think Moicano should defend against a Nasrat Hakparas. And here's why I think it's approachable. Nasrat Hakparas has won 2 split decisions in a row that he arguably lost. But they were really good fights. Arguably lost, but they were really, really good fights. He called out Renato Moicano on the mic. Moicano laughed and responded on the Show Me the Money podcast 2 days later when they filmed. and said, fuck that, brother, no problem, easy money, easy money. So I say easy money. Moicano, Nasrat Hakparast, MSG. Maybe you do it in the Abu Dhabi card. Maybe you do it main card opener of Abu Dhabi. But then you're like, if you're Moicano, you're like, dude, I don't want to go to fucking Abu Dhabi against this guy, my brother. They robbed me again in Abu Dhabi, man. Fuck that. So I think you do Moicano versus Nasrat Hakparast. Maybe on a fight night, co-main event, feature fight to like the Dariush and Fiziev one sometime in November. Prelim headliner for the MSG card if they really decide to stack it, or main card opener of the MSG one. You do Moicano, Nasrat Hakparast, right? That'd be a really, really good one. So I say Moicano, Nasrat Hakparast makes sense. They've said each other's name. Hakparast deserved, like, based off his record and based off of his win streak, deserves to jump into the rankings. I think you can justify it, right? And I think if you do Fares Ziam, like, he should be looking to fight. He should be ranked 15 anyway because we're about to lose Poirier. Alvarez is going to go up to 170. Those two spots are opening, and then within a year, Gaethje's gone too. So it's like, that's kind of what I see there. Islam Makhachev's also going to be gone from that spot. So, like, you're going to have spots open. It's going to be a place with Topuria. So you're going to have two spots opening. I think Ziam should be up there. I do. And I think they're going to have him fight on France, and I don't think Moicano's going to fight in France again, let alone turn around for that. So I say Moicano, Nasrat Hakparast, fight night, main card, maybe a feature fight sometime, or a co-main sometime in November. I think it's great, or a main card opener of MSG. Peyton Talbot, I was wrong, guys. He fought really well. He very much improved in the grappling department. His sprawls were good. He showed good hips. No Frank Ocean. No Frank Ocean, bro. Yeah, he showed a ton of improvements, and I think the fight to make for him is pretty simple. Called out Adrian Yanez, give him Adrian Yanez. You can do a Garbrandt fight, but like Garbrandt's coming off losses, right? Yanez, again, coming off a loss to Marcos, but it was a close fight. And it's a guy that's a little bit more skilled than Cody Garbrandt because you don't want, like, I don't know, I'm just not that interested in the Cody Garbrandt fight. Now, I'm willing to bet Peyton Talbot is going to get put on as the main, or as the prelim headliner against Adrian Yanez on MSG. So I say Peyton Talbot, Adrian Yanez, prelim headliner MSG. It's going to be a great fight. We get to see how the boxing defense of Peyton Talbot will hold up because he did get tagged by Felipe Lima a couple times. I will say that Felipe Lima's striking actually looked pretty good, but he just made some low IQ moments in terms of implementing the grappling and things like that. So ending up on the bottom, I think he would have had a lot more success if he kept striking. So say Peyton Talbot, Adrian Yanez is the fight to make. He called him out. MSG prelim headliner. Let's make it happen. Showed great grappling defense too. And you give him more time to like continue to work on that grappling defense for when he does inevitably fight a even better grappler. Even though Felipe Lima is a very good grappler. Felipe Lima lost his bantamweight debut in the UFC. I say Sirhi City. I think he's still a very, very good fighter. Sirhi City's okay. He's coming off a win, right? He's pretty decent, but Siri just answered because I said Sirhi City. So, I think this is a good matchup for Felipe Lima to bounce back and get a win, and that's what you want to do here. Let's give Felipe Lima a couple matchups in a row here where he can win, look very, very good and impressive because he's very young, and let's get him back into the confidence, right? Get him back into the confidence so he can end up fighting some of these other guys. If he goes out there, he subs Sirhi City and won, in literally one round, then he's, the hype's kind of back, and he goes, all right, dude, Peyton Talbot just is that good, and now it's time to see what Felipe Lima does against Cody Garbrandt or something like that. So, say Felipe Lima, Sirhi City, and I would do this fight as the prelim on, I don't know, some fight night prelim, maybe a main card, or maybe the main pay-per-view prelim, something like that. It's a prelim fight, but it's one to get him back in the win column. So that's the matchup I'd make. And I'd say turn around in October. Let's try and get back in the win column relatively quickly here for Felipe Lima. Gregory Rodriguez flatlined Jack Hermansson, and it was brutal. We were a little bit nervous watching cage side, man. We were very, very nervous that things were not looking good for Jack Hermansson. He got flatlined brutally by a left hook. Gregory Rodriguez kind of dog-walked him while Jack Hermansson kind of just picked the legs and landed a couple of good crafty jabs. Did have some good moments on the feet in this fight for Hermanson, but Gregory Rodriguez's power is just too much, and he got the first round knockout as I predicted. And he landed a follow up shot that I think was very unnecessary. Keep it real. At first when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, dude, what are you gonna do? He's in the cage, all the adrenaline's going," and I still understand that. But he saw that Hermanson was out cold, like out totally cold, and he flatlined him with another hammer fist. Like he was out cold when he landed that hammer fist already. So don't think it was necessary. Herb Dean, get fucking closer. Like I don't fully blame Herb Dean on that because I think Gregory Rodriguez had some recognition. But Herb Dean's so fucking far away from it, he doesn't even have time to get in there. So whatever. But Gregory Rodriguez, great win. I think it's time to throw him into the rankings again. But I say an Abus. Let's not give him a Jared Cannonier who's ranked like 7 or 8, who's very, very good still. We'll give him an Abus, a guy who's ranked 15. It's a steady like jump in competition. Two guys that don't have great cardio but are very, very powerful and dynamic in the striking and actually have very, very good grappling. So I think this is an absolute banger of a fight to happen that hopefully ends very soon. And I don't think it's going to be like a Michel Pereira versus Abus Magomedov because Gregory Rodriguez, while he does get tired, even when he's tired, he's always just walking forward. So it's going to be one of these ones where they're going to crash at each other, meet in the middle, and then Abus either gets tired and starts walking backwards or the fight's already over. So I think Gregory Rodriguez will be coming forward the whole time. I expect Abus to be coming forward for as long as he has cardio. And I think it's a banger fight to make. This is the perfect fight night prelim fight. I'm sorry, fight night. What's the word I'm looking for? Fight night feature fight. So if you do a feature fight in November, a fight card in sorry, not November. I would say turn around and do it in fucking. Honestly, dude, main card opener for Abu Dhabi. That's actually a banger. Main card opener for Abu Dhabi, feature prelim for Abu Dhabi because you know they stack those cards. Gregory Rodriguez, Abus Magomedov, great fight. Jose Delgado, there is not much to talk about here. He went balls to the wall against Hyder Emil, and the second Hyder Emil like disengages from the grappling, Jose Delgado lands a knee right up the middle in the clinch, flatlines him, calls out William Gomi. Weird call out. Jose Delgado just flatlined Hyder Emil. He's a Mexican guy. He should be fighting on UFC Noche, and I'm saying against Nathaniel Wood. I think this is one of those sneaky banger matchups for a Noche card where you can make it the main card opener of that fight night in San Antonio. Jose Delgado's got hype behind him now. Got a sick 25-second knockout on International Fight Week against an 11-0 contender. Now put him against like the eternal prospect, Nathaniel Wood, and see how he does against a really crafty, talented fighter. Because Nathaniel Wood's striking is very good. He's got pretty decent grappling as well. And he's just very, very good at fighting. He's very technical, does a lot of good things right, lands good low kicks, has great boxing, has good clinch work. Let's see if Delgado can Tasmanian Devil his way to a win here. I think this is a great main card opener for UFC Noche. Jose Delgado, Nathaniel Wood. Wrapping it up, Tracy Cortez dominated Vivian Araujo for 3 rounds. I was wrong on that one. Say Macy Barber. Can book this one in my room. Yeah, it's plain and simple. I mean, come on, guys, you understand. Terrence McKinney, great win over Vyacheslav Barshev. Barshev has no submission defense. I didn't think that he'd get thrown in an anaconda right away, so that's my bad on the pick. But I say Terrence McKinney versus Evan Elder. Let's see how McKinney does before giving him like a Manuel Torres who will fucking kill this guy. Let's see how he does against an Evan Elder, a guy who's got pretty decent striking, but also good grappling, who can defend the initial takedown defense of Terrence McKinney, who can probably survive the onslaught of punches early. Let's see if Terrence McKinney's learned anything against a guy that will likely try and take this into deeper rounds, and who's also very, very good. I say Terrence McKinney, Evan Elder. Let's make this fight happen relatively soon. I say this fight should happen. You can do it on Noche, bro. Like, I know neither of these guys are Mexican, but, like, this is just a good random fight to add on the card. It is. I know Terrence McKinney's fought in Texas before. I'm sure he likes to fight in Texas. Let's make it happen. I'm down. Boom. A couple of these fights are good for Noche. This is a good main card fight for Noche, even though I bet they do MSG. I'm totally okay with this being Noche, though. This is a Noche fight, guaranteed. Yeah, I guess those are the two. And then this one could be Noche. So, and then Jacoby Smith. Looked really good in the first couple minutes, but gassed himself out. I think he just went balls to the wall and didn't expect Nico Price to still be in there. But he did end up persevering and getting the second round submission. He showed a lot of skills. It's time for Michael Chiesa to stop getting these Mickey Mouse welterweight matchups. Buddy, you've gotten so many easy ones in a row. It's time to see if you can pass the torch. Jacoby Smith, Michael Chiesa, that's the fight to make. It's a big name. That's a pretty easy matchup that I think for Jacoby Smith, where he's going to have a chance to make a serious splash in the grappling and the striking, get a serious, real deal finish against a guy with a bigger name in Michael Chiesa. This is how you get Jacoby Smith on the map. Mike Chiesa, Jacoby Smith, UFC Fight Night. Honestly, put this as the prelim of the pay-per-view on any card, and it's going to be good. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. This is the mini recap and matchmaking video.